do that? Did you cook them? Did you? Where did you do that? I mean,
on the kitchen stove.
For everything you've done to me.
So.
For everything you've done to me.
So.
Fuck you.
So.
Mean to kill her? I didn't mean to kill her, man. You pulled her insides out. You pulled her intestines out. I wasn't.
Humanity is multifaceted. On one end, we have the capacity for so much good, but we also have the capacity for so much evil that you can't even comprehend. Because what could even push a human being to eat another human being? And that's why these criminals are the absolute worst of humanity, if we can even call them that. What was supposed to be a night of sexual pleasure quickly turned into one of cannibalistic terror when Kevin Bacon met Mark on a dating app. After Kevin's parents noticed he was missing, they reported to the police and there was only one suspect, Mark Latunsky.
So, what happened to Mark David Latunsky? I have no idea.
Okay.
However, all of the people that I grew up with knew that I'm not Mark David Latunsky, and they just failed to tell me. My mother had a funeral in 1981.
Okay, so she died in 1981. Sorry to hear that. Okay. So what is the name that you prefer or that you use?
Now, well, here, as long as you're filling, my father...
What's his date of birth?
I have no idea.
Where does he live?
He passed away in, I believe, 2002. He lived somewhere in Owasso, as I recall.
Okay.
Now, I was raised by my sister. However, when I did my ancestry DNA, and I'm not a Latunsky, so I did the digging, and when I confronted the people that I was raised with, they said, oh, now you know. I said, okay, so who's Mark Latunsky? Who knows? At least as far as I know. I know he was born. I have a birth certificate. But the dates on that birth certificate span 1969 to 1972. So I was born no earlier than 1969 and no later than 1972 when two cousins from my family, genetic family, signed off on those state of Michigan documents. I don't know if that document is a death certificate for Mark Latunsky or not. But I've been using that name to go to school, get an education, hold a job, but it's not me, and everyone in this county knows it.
For some reason, Mark doesn't believe his name is Mark Latunsky and goes on a very long rant about how he's not Latunsky. At this point, the main interrogation hasn't even begun, and he has already sounded a bit suspicious, and he also believes to be royalty.
Is my name Mark David Latunsky? No. My name is Edgar Thomas Hill.
So you're Edgar Thomas Hill.
And that name is a family name because my grandfather, my great-grandfather, and my great-great-grandfather.
Okay.
So,
what's your date of birth?
I don't know.
Okay. What is the name that you prefer to be called?
Well, when I started to realize that that was a stolen identity, one, I stopped voting. Two, I'd been trying to get rid of it for a long time because that name is a name of a bunch of people that I have absolutely no relationship to. So the name that I go by is Olykos.
How do you spell it?
Olykos.
Okay.
And that's at least a common name that I use. but only because I've never really used any of those other names. And when I hear the name Mark Lipinski, I know that somebody's talking garbage. It's not real.
Okay, we'll leave those.
So,
All right. You were brought down here, obviously, well, when the police came to your house, they put you in the handcuffs, and then you were driven down here.
yes.
And I want to talk to you. But before I can do so, because you're in handcuffs and you're brought down here, I need to advise you of your Miranda rights.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to read you your Miranda rights form. Once we get through those, then we'll talk to you about what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the first thing is you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him or her present with you before or during questioning. If you want a lawyer but cannot afford one will be appointed to represent you at public expense. If you waive the right to remain silent and later wish to stop answering questions, the questions will stop. And if you waive the right to have a lawyer present and later change your mind, the question will stop until you have talked to the lawyer.
Now the real interrogation begins as the cop gives him some forms to sign. But first, the cop tries to build rapport with him concerning his work.
What do you do? You said you mentioned you work. What do you do for a living?
Well, right now I'm doing construction. What I have done for a living is had my trust funds raided by people who were pretending to employ me and giving me back my own money. That was my employment up until February of this year.
Okay.
That ran through 2 companies. The first one was Flint Inc. No complaints about them on my part. They acted very honorably. But when they realized how deep they were in, they sold the business, got the hell out of Dodge, and passed it off to the international bankers.
Okay.
American Chemical got in a little bit deeper because they decided to send a member of the family to New York and sit down with the New York bankers so that they knew the extent and breadth of the trust funds that they were being paid by. I don't know the details of that.
What did you do for Flint Inc.?
For Flint Inc., I worked as a bench chemist.
Okay, so is that a tattoo place, or is that...
No,
I don't know Flint Inc.
Flint Inc. So printing inks, the manufacturer of the inks that go on everything from newspapers to packaging or anything else that's printed.
Okay.
They got into digital printing, but they spun it off as, but ink, I-N-K,
Gotcha.
but not tattoo place, no.
Okay. And then what did you do for American Chemical?
I have no idea what I was actually doing. The stuff that they had me just signing off on ended up being just garbage. I was a quality manager for a company whose business model was to have no quality. So I was pretty much a lie detector. If we can fool this guy, man, we're scot-free. We can get away with anything.
They talk a lot more about his work, building rapport, even though the detectives aren't exactly sure how the whole trust fund conversation is relevant. He also mentions a man in a basement. This continues for a while until Mark starts talking about doing something for the victim's family, and then the cop hits him with this question.
So the man in the basement, when did he come to your house?
I picked him up. We met, physically met, in Swartz Creek. And that was when because he had given me details of what he wanted. And so I said, well, I'll tell you what. I will bring all of the things that you would need so that you can see them. I said, I will lay them out in front of you. I says, then I'll step back. I says, you decide. You need to decide, because I'm not going to force you.
Okay, so you meet him in Sports
I
Creek.
met him in Swartz Creek.
On what day do you?
Well, that would be the 24th.
Okay, on 12/24, Christmas Eve. Okay.
It was Christmas Eve.
And then,
Was that the first time that you've ever met him in person?
That was the first time I'd ever met him. I had chatted with him, so I had a tremendous amount of detail of what he was looking for. Only what he was looking for.
And you're trying to help him.
What?
You were trying to help him.
Well,
System.
in that regard, I took everything that I had to set it up, and I put it into a bag. I laid it out in the trunk so that it was there in the back of the van. And then I got in the front, and I said, "You decide." And at that point, he says, "I've made my decision." I said, take and, put on the different gear that he wanted, that he'd selected. He'd taken some and said, no, not this one, he picked it all out. He wanted to make sure that he was comfortable, and that he was as well as without going up. I don't want to have the details on any record. It doesn't need to be there. What he wants is what he wants is what he wants. But at that point, I said, you know what? I'm not going to put these on you.
Now this is where it starts getting dark. He nonchalantly admits to murdering Kevin Bacon, but says Kevin gave him permission.
what sites did you meet him on?
Gosh, I would have. I think that one was Grinder.
Okay.
But no matter. We chatted for a while. He described the things that he wanted. After we sat and made an agreement about what was going to happen, we made the agreement, and he was supposed to disappear, be gone. He had, but you know as well as I do that in our society, although we say, a man can just go, does our society really allow that? No. And what it leaves behind is all kinds of I'm going to say, things for his family that a man doesn't want to leave. Now, the things that I set up for him and plan to do for him in that regard would do something for his family that would make it easier. But that agreement between him and I really shouldn't have anything to do with anything but him or I.
So what was the agreement?
In total, one, that I would, and I started to do, it's like, this is what it is. And he looked at it. I mean, we laid together for a while. He asked me to, I did.
He just admitted to murder with absolutely no remorse. He was trying to convince the police that what he did was the right thing to do because Kevin Bacon had allowed him to, but he never says what the agreement actually was. However, this interrogation only gets darker when he starts to describe how he killed, cooked, and ate him in gory details.
I killed Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon is my hero. I took his head and I moved it to the side and this way. So it was as much as I could in order to, whatever it was, it at least initiated another gash that was, there wasn't the spray like there was the first time, so it was at least more effective.
So when you say the spray the first time, what do you mean?
That was when
So the spray on the wall is what you think, what you're referring to as the first
that
time.
was the first one.
And then when you did this,
The second one, it was just, you know, it's like, I need to end this as quickly as I can. And it was after that I could tell that he was unconscious.
How did you do that? Did you cook them? Did you... where did you do that? I mean...
on the kitchen stove.
like with a frying pan?
It was the griddle. I mean, I eat Rocky Mountain oysters anyway.
Sure.
I have a carton of them that I had bought. And so it's really very simple. You slice them thin, you saute them with some Worcestershire sauce, and once they're done, you just eat them.
Sick, absolutely sick, Latunsky revealed he had fried and consumed Bacon's testicles, planned to use his blood and bones for plant fertilization, and his muscles for jerky. Charged with homicide and mutilation, he was initially found incompetent in 2020. However, after being deemed fit for trial, he was ultimately sentenced to life in prison in 2022. But if you think this case is sick, brace yourself for the story of the man who gutted his girlfriend like a fish.
I didn't want to kill her. I know, I'll kill her. That's whatever I do.
In a chilling confession to detectives, Fidel Lopez recounted a night of passion turned deadly. It all began with tequila-fueled desire, but when Nemeth uttered her ex-husband's name, rage consumed Lopez. What followed was a frenzy of destruction, shattered glass and punched walls. But the horror didn't end there. In a gruesome turn, Lopez described his transformation into a monster, a tale of violence that ended with a desperate 911 call and a life lost.
Alright, so I just want to make sure I have your name spelled correctly and your information. Alright, spell your first name for me.
First name is Fidel, F-I-D-E-L.
Okay. And your last name?
Lopez, L-O-P-E-Z.
Excellent. Okay. And you're 26 years old?
No, 24.
24? And your date of birth?
March 28, 1991.
All right, we're going to talk about what happened tonight. All right, we're going to go everything in detail. Obviously, what I want to do is go over your rights waiver form. This is your rights. I'm going to read you each thing. You're going to answer. I'm going to have you sign, and then we'll take a stand.
Yeah, I don't know how to read in English, so just read it.
I'll read it. You understand English, though?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, and what?
I'm sorry, it's Venture?
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Nova High School.
Did you graduate?
No, I did not.
What year did you go to?
I went until 10th grade.
10th grade? Okay. And you have a job?
I have a job.
Where do you work?
I work on 595 drug stop
Right.
as a mechanic.
Mechanic? How long have you done that?
I just started there, like, I'll be there for a month already.
A month?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the interrogation starts light with the cop trying to get the basics and all that. Then the cop steers the conversation to ask about Fidel's relationship with his girlfriend.
Who do you live with, Gary?
I live with her, with Maria Nemeth.
Okay, Maria. What's Maria's last name?
Maria Nemeth.
Can you spell that?
Nemeth is N-E-M-E-T-H.
Okay.
Nemeth.
All right. How long have you guys been together?
We've been together for about a year and 2 months, almost, you know.
Okay. And how long have you been in the apartment over here in Sunrise?
Over here, about 6 days a week.
A week?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys have been together for over a year. Exclusive? You guys, boyfriend, girlfriend, no other...
No.
Has she ever been married before?
Yeah, she was.
She was. How long? When was that?
She was married for 8 years.
8 years?
With another guy.
Have any children?
No. She
Okay.
don't have any children.
Have you ever been married before?
No.
You have any children?
I do.
You do? How many?
I have 2.
2? Boy, girl?
2 boys.
2 boys? How old are they?
One of them is a year and a half, and the other one's almost 2 years.
You're not 2 years old?
I mean, one of them is a year and like 1 month, and
Yeah.
the other one's almost 2 years. It just happened one next to the other.
Okay. Where do they live?
I live with the mother. There's a university, and I forget the road, so it's close by.
Yeah.
So your one son was born right when you got together with Maria.
Exactly. Maria, you know, we made up and we always hang out or, you know, go to clubs and things like that.
Yeah.
And then we decided to make something formal and something serious. So,
Okay.
How did you guys meet?
we met in a club. I mean, I was just, trying to buy a pizza. She was in the parking lot with the car, and, you know, it's just met outside of the club.
Then the detectives start asking him questions about the night, and the details move from very sexual before it gets gory.
All right, so tell me about the night from when you get back to the house. Tell me what happened.
Okay, we get to the house. She was already like kind of tipsy from the margaritas in Chili's. You know, we start to drink. We put like 2 cardboard, boxes on the floor. We put the lime on top, and because we don't have furniture, so we're about to buy. Now when I get paid, we're about to buy furniture, the TV, and things like that, you know.
Okay.
And so we put the 2 boxes on the floor in the dinner room, and then we start to drink and talking and listen to music, and we have a lot of shock of tequila. Then in my position, I can handle it. I can handle drinks. Because sometimes you go a little crazy. And she was a lot crazy, and so she was asking me for stuff that she never asked me for that before. So,
like what?
The thing with the arm and shit like that, and I never done that shit with nobody, especially with her. So
explain what kind of stuff was she asking? What do you mean with the arm?
I mean, first she started talking like. Something like I was uncomfortable with it, like one day I want you to put a bottle on my pussy, Sorry, I'm just talking right now with you guys.
Yeah. I want you to be open,
I respect her, and
absolutely, and
You're not disrespecting her. You're just telling us what she told you, what she wanted you to do.
It's
not disrespectful.
I'm a man. I'm her man. So whatever she asks me, I'll do it.
Okay.
Whatever it is. I don't care what it is. Even if she want me to put my hand in her pussy, I put it.
Okay.
I put it. So she was telling me that, and then I don't remember really if I did it with the bottle too, or if I not, because I was really.
What kind of bottle are you talking about?
It's a beer bottle.
A beer bottle. Okay. All right.
He says she got drunk and told him to put his hand and beer bottle inside her vagina, but as the interrogation goes, only gets weirder and more violent. But he seems to be pushing all the blame to her.
So what ended up happening? I know she was asking you to do these things.
Yeah, she was asking me all those stuff, and I was starting feeling like uncomfortable, because she never asked for that, and I know she was tipsy. But when we were doing the stuff and all the things, she told me she wanted to throw up to get out of the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So I get out of the bathroom, and I was outside, believe I was smoking a cigarette. I don't remember if the door was already break or something. I really don't know. I know I break it because she's not strong enough to break it.
What door are we talking about?
The glass door. I just remember I see glass in the floor, man. I really don't remember when I break it or why I break it. You know, to be honest with you, I really don't remember.
Okay.
The only thing I remember clearly is that I went to the bathroom and she was like not breathing. She was like this. And I just want to call 911.
And where was she?
She was like between the toilet and the shower thing. Like just handling like, and I thought she was throwing in the shower. I mean. But, you know, she wasn't. I mean,
you thought she was throwing up?
I thought she was throwing up, but, you know, I don't hear it, you know. So I knocked the door, she announced it, and I'm getting straight to this. She wasn't breathing. You know, she was constant. She was talking to me.
Yeah.
You know? But, you know, one moment I get so nervous and scared, and then I get the phone and call 911 because she was getting worse and worse. And, you know, I don't know.
And whose phone did you use to call 911?
The wife phone. I mean, I don't remember where we were listening music with the phone and the Bluetooth.
Okay.
All right, but I really don't remember where I grabbed the phone from. I called 911 and then when I was gonna call 911 again, I didn't find the phone. I don't remember if he should take it or if she throw it or something. What I remember is that I put a battery in the phone.
The battery?
Yeah, the battery in the phone. I don't remember where I find it, but I put the battery in the phone and call 911 again. But
however, as the interrogation goes on, Fidel refuses to accept that he killed her on purpose and ripped her insides. He insists it's just rough sex, and he doesn't remember. She also said that she asked for it, but then again, no one ever asked for their insides to be ripped out.
I just got off the phone with our crime scene, and the medical examiner is there, okay? The doctor. And there's the injury to her is severe. Severe injuries. Severe injuries.
Body.
Yes. Multiple injuries inside there. Tissue ripped out.
What is that?
Tissue. Inside. All the insides out on the floor.
What else? That's the cause of the death?
Yeah. We think. You know the amount of blood that's in there? Her insides were ripped out. What happened, man? What happened?
Fidel, this is not a case of just rough sex.
Yeah.
Okay? This is not a case of rough sex. There's blood everywhere. Everywhere.
Listen, just tell us.
I'm just doing whatever she was telling me to do.
She wasn't telling you to do that. Because listen, Fidel, the amount of pain that she would have been in would have been unbearable. Okay? The doctor just looked inside of her, and the amount of pain that she would have had, she wouldn't have been able to withstand it.
I don't kill her, man. I don't.
We're not saying you intended to.
No one's saying you intended to do it. No one's saying you wanted to.
I hear your remorse. Listen, I heard the remorse in your voice when you're trying to get help, and I understand that you care for her and this is someone that you love.
I don't care.
But however, there's injuries inside of her that need to be explained.
She was telling me what I was doing. She told me, do this, do it, man. She was telling me.
I understand, but listen, you as a human being, you as someone that loves this girl, would not be doing that to her, even if she was asking you.
We both were wrong, man.
I don't care. I don't care. That doesn't make a difference in this situation. Okay? There's serious injury to her. There's things that were done in there. And I think you have a little bit of a conscience, and you were worried. You were worried because you even cleaned the blood off yourself. Okay. And hey, listen. Look, you love this girl.
I love her, man. Of course.
So I know what happened in there is not something that you expected to happen. Okay. It just things went wrong. Things went bad.
After much push, he finally says what happened. Fidel killed her because she called him by her ex-husband's name during sex.
But when we were doing making love, she told me something that I really don't. It just she changed my name. She called me the other fucking name of the other guy, and then she said it twice. And she was wrong. She was confusing me with him. I didn't want to kill her. I know I killed her. That's whatever I did with her was the reason. But she was asking me about the bottle. And she was asking me about the hand too. And maybe things go a little bit far because, you know, once she's confusing me with the other one and she told me to do stuff with her that I've never done before, I think that she might think that's the other stuff that she does with the other one before. And I don't know, man. I'm turning myself into a fucking monster.
Because she called her ex-husband's name?
Huh?
Because she called you by her ex-husband's name?
Yeah, man. My mind blocked down. I mean, my mind just blocked. Everything I was doing, I didn't think. It just was straight up. And but I didn't mean to kill her, man. I really don't.
Listen, when I see that, you saying you didn't mean to kill her?
I didn't mean to kill her, man.
You pulled her insides out. You pulled her intestines out.
I wasn't knowing what I was doing, man.
What did you think was gonna happen to her? Did you just get up and go make breakfast? I mean, at some point during this, you knew there was a point of no return, right?
That's why I take her to the bathroom and start putting water on her face and call 911, man.
But she was gone by then.
Fidel Lopez, acknowledging guilt in Maria Nemeth's death, opted for a plea deal, foregoing the death penalty. Broward County Judge Ilona Holmes, respecting Nemeth's family's sentiments, delivered a sentence barring parole and appeals. Mr. Lopez will never know freedom. Too bad I can't say the same for Jorge Torres Jr., who was locked in a suitcase and taunted by his girlfriend Sarah Boone.
Fuck you.
Sarah.
Fuck you.
Sarah.
In a chilling call to 911, Sarah Boone recounted a night that turned into a nightmare. Amidst their alleged game of hide and seek, she and Jorge Torres Jr. conceived a macabre joke, placing him inside a suitcase. However, Boone, fueled by wine, said she drifted to sleep, only to wake up to Torres's lifeless body. As emergency responders arrived, the truth of the tragedy unfolded, casting a shadow over Winter Park, Florida.
Put the time that you called it. Is that the time you called it? Okay, perfect. You can't go back inside. What's going on? Who is he to you? Boyfriend?
Yes, for like 3.5 years.
What happened?
He and we drank last night. We had a.
Can you pass this to the around to the FD guys? Stop. They need to sign that for sure.
They're with me, so they're not.
Oh, they're not leaving. Okay.
I think I'll walk around.
No. Each of them has to, because this might be a real scene. So each of them has to put their name in.
Normally I just put everybody.
Yeah, you call it working. What's going on? I just got here, so fill me in.
No problem. Like,
Yeah,
he and I are putting a puzzle together. We've been doing some artwork together.
You are putting a puzzle together?
Yes, we have a puzzle that we started in there.
Okay.
We've been doing art, taking stuff off the wall to make new art put up there, like having a good time with one another. But we're drinking. We had a bottle of wine last night.
Okay.
So then it's like, we decided to play hide and seek, right?
Okay.
So he gets in the suitcase, okay?
Who is this guy?
That's my ex-husband, my former husband.
How did he live here with you guys?
No, I called him over here.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
So then he came over here.
Here, let's talk in private, okay?
I called you guys. I tried giving him CPR. The problem is I fell asleep.
When did you do CPR?
This morning. When I found it.
Before you called?
Yes!
It's 1 o'clock right now.
I tried. I was awake, but I actually got out of the bed at like 12:30ish, whatever. So I came downstairs, and I was like, oh, he's in the suitcase still. And that's when I found him, and I took him out, and I tried doing CPR, and then I called him, and then I called you guys.
Did he get here before the fire department got here?
Who?
Your husband? Or your ex-husband?
Yes.
Okay. Where does he live at?
Right down the street.
Okay. So you were playing and who zipped him up in?
I did, but then I fell asleep.
Okay. You're okay. I wasn't here. I'm just trying to figure out what
I
happened.
fell asleep, so I don't know if he suffocated or like had an aneurysm or a heart attack or
What kind of medical conditions does he have?
None that I know of.
Nothing that you know of.
None
You
that I
didn't take
know
any
of.
medicine last night?
No.
No medicine.
All we had was a bottle of wine. Literally, just a bottle of wine.
Okay.
Doing puzzle artwork. Then we decided to play hide and seek. That's all that happened.
Okay.
So I don't know if he had a heart attack or what in there. Like, I don't know what happened.
So how long were you doing CPR on him prior to you calling 911? You tried that all morning?
Yes.
Okay.
The detective that came on scene is trying to understand what happened, but the more she asks questions, the more frantic Sarah gets.
Here, let me fill this deputy in, okay?
Please, may I have my Dr. Pepper? I am so cotton mouth right now.
Ma'am, and you can't talk to him until we get done with this, okay?
Just don't leave, okay, Brian?
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, I'm
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll get Lucas eventually.
I know.
Do me a favor. Stand over there by that car. Give me 1 second. Just give us a second, okay?
Somebody else on that call and break and it's on the counter.
I can't move anything from out of the house.
Like, I'm
Here, I want you to sit down because I don't want you passing out. This is probably a lot for you to deal with, right? Sit. I don't
water. Just water.
I can get you some water, okay? Just I want you not on your feet because I don't want you passing out on me.
I need water.
Okay, I'll get some for you.
222 Charlie, put you on it.
Okay, so you don't live here in this house?
No. I live down in Lake Renata Cove down there.
Lake Renata Cove, okay.
Yeah.
So kind of tell me how you came here today, or...
Well, I've been calling...
Come down here, we gotta talk.
I've been calling since...
You've been calling your ex-wife or current wife?
Yes.
Okay.
No, ex-wife. We've been divorced about a year and a half. About 11:30 is when I started calling to find out, because this is supposed to be her day. Her child.
Okay.
She's generally not very good about always doing it. She tends to drink.
They called back and said she was still there, or she came back.
So I was calling to find out if she was going to be getting him or not today.
From school?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I started calling like 11:30, called every half hour or so, and then
she was back inside the lobby.
Finally got a hold of her at 12:49, which is when she told me what was going on and if I'd come over here. So I came over.
She called at 12:45.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 12:49.
12:49.
Got over here, told her she needed to call 911, get somebody over here, and then basically she said she needed to go outside, have a drink and a cigarette. I walked back out the house because I didn't really want to
Who
be
called?
in there.
Did you call or did she call?
Well, I called. She called me back when I was on my way to make sure I was coming over. But I called her
Give me 1
initially.
second, okay?
But I called her initially.
Do you have water in your car?
From the ex-husband's account of events, you can tell there are some things that don't add up.
It's natural. You're nervous. You have your anxiety. You're scared, right?
I don't know how to explain it to you.
It's okay. You don't have to.
I don't know how to. I'm just waiting for whoever, so...
I could tell you this. I'm going to be here just as long as you are. Including my... It's going to be a while. I'm welcoming this breeze right now. It's kind of warm. All right? So just bear with us.
I know.
All right?
If you could, give me whatever updates or anything that you know of, that's just how I work, so I know, kind of what...
Well, let me look at my computer, see. We already got a detective on his way. He's on the screen.
Hey, Sarah. Did you get enough water? No, if you want to stay seated, I don't want you getting lightheaded. So remember I said the detectives were going to come out and talk to you and go from there. You know what I'm saying? They're here. They're going to ask you a few questions and then go from there, okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right, sir. My name's Chelsea. My partner, Scott. To my understanding, you reside here?
Yes.
Okay. Is it just you,
And George.
Okay.
And I have a 9-year-old. It's 50-50 with Brian, my former husband.
Your former husband. Okay. But you reside here with George, and then your son lives with you, or lives, there's 50-50?
Yeah.
Okay. So, from what
Rodriguez
has told me, she explained last night that you guys were drinking a bottle of wine, and around midnight, you decided, you guys...
12:30ish, yeah.
Okay. You guys decided to play hide and seek.
Well, we were playing hide and seek, and then...
Was your son home at the time, or...
No.
Okay.
No, he was mine.
At this point, she tells the same story she told the first cop with a bit more details, but again, some things are not adding up. Listen to the clip very well, and you'll probably guess what.
Decided to play, we're just stupid like that. Like, sure, we were putting puzzles together, we were doing artwork. You can see the puzzle that we finished in there, and then the artwork, and then decided to play hide and seek, just being stupid.
Okay.
So he decided to get in the suitcase. So I thought it would be funny to, and he was laughing about it too, to dip him up in there. I go upstairs and fell asleep. So this morning when this afternoon when I actually got up out of the bed, I thought for sure he was downstairs on the laptop because he was being really quiet. But then I came downstairs and I'm like, where is he? Like, and then that's when I found him.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Okay. And then you weren't sure about if you woke up this morning?
It was afternoon. I mean, I was awake.
Or this afternoon?
But I just didn't want to come downstairs. So I just laid in the bed for a little while. And then I eventually came downstairs and was confused about where he was. And then I was like, oh my God, he's in the suitcase still. So I pulled him out and I stretched him out and I started to try to do CPR on him. I called you guys. Well, I called Brian.
Okay.
And then as soon as he got here, which is 30 seconds down the road, I called you guys.
Okay.
And the person on the phone had you do the compressions continually still and count with him until you guys showed up.
Okay. And so as a part of our investigation, we obviously have to go inside the house. We have to look at things. Are you okay with us going in the house and looking at things?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And forensics, so we have to have our forensics crime scene investigators come out. Are you also okay with them coming inside, taking photographs and...
Whatever you need to do.
Okay.
Can I ask, is George, was he diagnosed with any kind of medical history?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't take drugs. I mean...
So have you figured out what's missing? She said that they decided to play hide and seek, and that's when she decided to lock him up in the suitcase. That's not how hide and seek typically works, and in fact, that's actually not what happened. Later on, video evidence will come out that shows that she willfully locked Jorge and even laughed at him. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
Fuck you.
Sarah.
Fuck you.
Sarah.
Stupid.
Sarah.
That's my name. Don't wear it up.
Sarah. I can't fucking breathe, babe. Seriously.
Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me.
Sarah. 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 Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
That's on you.
A very painful end. The legal proceedings for Sarah Boone are scheduled to commence on May 13th, 2024. But since then, she's had more than 7 attorneys because she has been very difficult. Till then, the only thing we can hope for is that the hand of justice falls heavily on her. Thanks for watching. Click on the videos on your screen for similar content.